What's up guys, it's Chilantis bringing you another map rundown for the map Pantheon for Trials of Osiris in the game of Destiny. For those of you who watch my daily vlog, I will be returning with that on Monday the 29th. Kind of had a long week, so I had to put that on hold, but we'll be back to it on Monday. Now real quick for this map of Pantheon, be sure to take a moment to get affiliated with the map. When I first looked at the map, it felt really awkward because you're used to seeing it from this direction or from this direction from looking at the map, not straight up like we are right now. So take a moment, figure out your bearings of what the map actually shows, and then we can continue on with the explanations. While you're doing that, I'm going to take a quick minute to say thank you to Rylan Titan for once again being able to provide us this awesome map review. He does a great job of being able to lay out the map floor plan and all that stuff for us, so shouts to him. Now this is one of my favorite maps for Trials of Osiris, mainly because it's very symmetrical and there's no doors and there's not crazy head glitches anywhere. So snipers who are hard scoping are exposed as they should be, while they're still provided some awesome snipe lines to shut down shotgun rushers. I myself am a shotgun guy now, so I do not enjoy the fact that people can hard scope, but this map has a lot more flanking opportunities than people would first assume. Generally what everybody does on this map is they'll go to cube room, either as a shotgun rusher, they'll just rush over to cube room and throw grenades over the cube and try to jump on top of the cube and try to shoot you down. There's a lot of areas people can go into inside of cube room, so it's a little bit hard to say this is what people do directly. So one thing I would say for going into cube room, if you're pushing into to try to control the objective area, which is that B cap, is that as soon as you come in, throw grenades over cube room, probably over to the other side middle of the hallway over here, or over here depending on your spawn. The other team likely will be doing the same. A lot of people like jumping on top of cube as well, but I noticed from trials on Friday that a lot of people don't really do that anymore. But just keep aware that if you don't check on top of cube, they'll get a huge advantage on you. They'll shoot you immediately before you can react to them. So as long as you just do a quick sweep check that they're not on top of cube as you're progressing over through the cube room, you should be good. Because if somebody does get on top of cube, they're really exposed. If you're ready for them, you'll gun them down faster than they can gun you down. Control of the objective as usual is very huge. So if you are a shotgunner or a rusher or whatever, not a hardscope sniper, it's definitely advised you take control of the cube room area and just hold it down for your team. Eventually the other team will have to push you from one of 4 locations. That's from C snipe, A snipe, outside heavy jump up area, or from the middle hallway in front of the waterfall. Being able to watch 4 locations, you should be pretty good about stopping the enemy team from approaching towards you. You'll have the advantage as they have to make the first move around the corner. Won't know exactly where you are, but you can know where they're coming from. Speaking of knowing where people are coming from, the locations that people snipe a lot on this map are at C snipe or A snipe. Those are named A snipe or C snipe, so a lot of people snipe there. They also snipe down the hallway a lot. More often than not though, you'll find people at the A or C snipe areas and try to push into cube room location. Very few people actually pressure hallway. What people typically do from both spawns is generally the same because it's a very symmetrical map. As stated before, but it's definitely a big deal because I won't be able to say Bravo spawn you do this, Alpha spawn you do this. You basically do the same thing from both spawns. People will step on the edges of this hallway just to try to hard scope down the line, so whoever gets there first and sets up the scope will typically win that. So if you're very slow at getting to this location, then go ahead and don't worry about it. They'll probably have a hard scope line on you already and just get the first shot off. Because as stated before, people waiting and expecting something to happen will be able to react faster than people who are not expecting something to happen or are not already prepared to do something. So if somebody's sitting there hard scoping, already prepared, ready to shoot you down the line, and you're just not getting there, having to bring up your scope and try to shoot at them, it's going to take you longer, they'll have an advantage over you. So keep that in mind for both the hallway snipe line as well as A and C snipe lines. One little trick if you're going to A or C snipe lines is if you set up right around here on both sides, this bottom left or bottom right corner, you'll be able to snipe down towards the outside location. And this snipe line right here, I wish I could draw lines, that'd be pretty nice. But you can just follow the path of my mouse cursor to see what the snipe lines are. If you set up here, just snipe over here, or set up right here, just snipe over here. You'll be perfectly set up before they get to those locations because it's faster to run from spawn over to right here than it is to run from spawn over to up on this top side of the box. So you'll typically have an advantage over them to be able to snipe them down. Honestly, there's very obvious snipe lines on this map, so unless you're a really good sniper or at least very fast at getting to the sniping locations, you'll probably be disadvantaged or at least be on a 50-50 to where you typically trade or at least die half the time. That's actually a big reason why I really don't enjoy sniping on this map, because it's kind of stressful that you might just lose just because they know where you're going to be setting up on snipe lines, you know where they're going to set up on snipe lines. It's going to be like a 50-50. You're probably trading with each other all the time. People are pretty much always miss because they choke or just because you got there faster. A lot of people say this is a sniper map, but honestly how it feels, I feel a lot stronger as a shotgunner on this map. I always feel as though it's good to have at least one good shotgunner or one good sniper on your team because it has a huge dynamic within your team, forces enemies to respect the rush as well as respect snipe lines. So it reduces their options for how to play against your team, while your team has all the options in the world to be able to play against their team. What I'll typically do as a shotgunner is I'll rush right into cube room, try to control it as I point out earlier as it being a really good thing to do. As I come into this hallway, I check over cube really quickly as I'm throwing a grenade. If somebody's on top of cube, I gun them down almost immediately. And if they're not, then after the grenade is thrown, I'll just continue progressing forward. Now I'll try to pressure them around the C-Snipe special box area, because typically people are just setting up here and just hard scoping it the whole time. So if you're really fast about it, people typically don't expect you to be really aggressive and push towards them. They'll probably be hard scoping still and probably have no idea that you're actually pushing towards them. But if it doesn't work the first round, don't do it for the rest of the match, because that means that they are ready for people rushing on them. They're aware of the map location and they're just expecting you. You don't want to be the guy just constantly throwing yourself into the team. However, if it works the first round, you'll be able to break them down mentally pretty fast. Honestly, generally, it's a really good idea to just keep an idea of angles you can use on the other team. A lot of people like to sit around, just hard scope, retreating back towards their spawn. So if they're sitting around here, you can go on the outside and throw grenades over their stairs here, try to shoot them down. Or you can push towards hallway if you notice nobody's there, try to shoot them from here. Or you can push all the way through the orange hallway back to the C flag and shoot them from their spawn. A lot of people like to just sit around with each other as a group, as a unit, and just hard scope a lot of angles on this map. But as you'll notice, there's at least 4 or 5 angles from any location that you can come from, so it's really hard for people to keep track of exactly where you are if you're rapidly moving around the map and dancing. And as I mentioned last week, what dancing means is you're jumping back and forth along the line of scrimmage rapidly, trying to find a good angle that they're not looking at. It's a really good way of throwing people off, making them confused and not knowing how to deal with you, and you'll be able to get a pressure advantage on them eventually. Just be patient, read the radar, try to look at some angles, and be ready for the opportunity when it presents itself. And obviously also communicate with the team, so if you find a good opportunity, you'll be able to pressure together. One little clip I have really quickly that I can show you is actually a time that I danced alongside the A-Snipe area down towards the hallway, because people were stepping around A-Snipe area and we retreated back towards A flag, and they're just all hard scoping the angle, and it was really hard for us to push them through the A-Snipe location, and they were kind of watching this outside location as well, so I couldn't push them from this flank. So I had to be a little creative with what I did, and what I did end up doing was I jumped over the stairs, just kind of rapidly jumped over this little entryway right here that they were hard scoping. I had no intention whatsoever of even doing damage to them at all. All I want to do is disrupt them, cause a little chaos, break up the lines a little bit, and allow my team an opportunity to pressure on them and capitalize on the opening that I provided by creating chaos and distracting the other team. Because when I jump across this hallway area, they're all distracted by me instantly, and I pressure over to teal hallway. One person has to be distracted and respect that I'm pressuring on that location. The other 2 people are disrupted, they're retreating a little bit, and their lines are broken. My team pressures on them from that opening caused. I ignore the Titan as he retreats all the way back to his spawn and help finish off the second person on the other team. And from that, the Titan starts panicking because we just completely shattered the whole game plan, and he just makes a really reckless move that I easily shut down. So one really good lesson to learn is you don't always have to be the one going for that kill. If you're causing chaos and disruption in enemy ranks and just opening them up for your team to capitalize on, that's all you really need to do. Don't ever tunnel for kills, don't be bloodthirsty, just read the situation. No, you don't have to be that guy who gets that crazy KD. Just overall be that team player, set up your team for those opportunities. And that's a big deal for this map, especially if you're a shotgunner, because you need to be able to pressure people from flanks, show up on the radar so they have to respect you, and just call out those opportunities when you present them for your team so they know when to pressure after you initiated the distraction. Overall though, if you're not a sniper, don't go in the snipe lines at C-Snipe or A-Snipe areas, and don't go down the hallway. You'll probably get sniped in the face as you do so. For heavy round, it's kind of a toss-up for whatever you think is going to be the best option. Typically what I do is I jump over to cube room and either pressure them at inside heavy or outside heavy based on what the radar reads. It's actually probably not the most optimal route. Maybe the best way of doing it is pressuring all your whole team for the inside heavy, and you'll be able to have a height advantage over the enemy team on the outside heavy. But honestly, it's worked out for me. I just basically cause distractions as I just listed. I stop them from getting heavy, or if they go for heavy hardcore, then I'll be able to pick them off whenever they try for it. Because being a cube room gives it pretty good angles for especially outside heavy. If not the inside heavy, you can throw grenades towards it through the waterfall and try to make a disruption opportunity happen and try to pick off 1 or 2 of the enemy team. So your team who gets in outside heavy would be able to capitalize on them. Basically, overall for this map, look out for your team, try to help your team, present opportunities for your team, and don't walk into snipe lines. I didn't have a lot of time to prepare for this Trials Help video, though I still hope that it did help you in some fashion for going flawless in this week's Trials of Osiris. Quick announcement per Bungie is next weekend, not this weekend of Pantheon, but the next weekend will be the last Trials of Osiris weekend before Rise of Iron releases. That means the 2 weekends leading up to Rise of Iron and the first weekend after Rise of Iron is released, there will be no Trials of Osiris. 3 weeks total. So definitely go for that flawless victory this weekend or the next before Rise of Iron hits. Get that Bastard Stream, the cat emblem from Flawless, and try to get that God Roll Doctrine passing or whatever else you want from Trials before you transition into the new DLC. Because when that hits, it's likely you won't be able to get all those other gear pieces or emblems ever again. We don't know what the future holds, but from what we've seen from previous DLCs, this is your opportunity this weekend and next. So good luck out there, Guardians. Be sure to be a team player. Thank you so much for being you, and thank you as always for watching.